Hello and welcome back to our Glass Cannon playthrough, and when we left off we had a completely different faction name, and I've kind of combined a number of different suggestions for the new one, and it's currently now called Barebones Topia, because, I mean, let's face it, it's a play, I mean, as you said in your comments actually, it's a play on the fact that many of our units do have very bare bones gear. So they're obviously very easy to kill, and obviously this is not the way that you spell bear as in bare bones, but it's a play on the fact that we are indeed from the clan of Beartild and so on and so forth. Yeah, and then obviously adding Topia onto it, I thought to myself, well, there was another suggestion that was Beartopia, and I thought, well, that's actually something cool too, so why not? Let's combine the two, and that's why we have what we have right there. And what we're also going to be doing, and this is the reason why I started the episode here, is we're actually going to be making peace with the Botanians. I'm going to be forcing through peace here because we have 100% support from our vassals, which is actually kind of amazing. And our war exhaustion is just about to kick in. So here's the thing. We can get 860 tribute per day. Obviously, this is really not very good. I mean, let's face it, this is not good at all. But it is better than receiving nothing, and that's exactly the reason why we are going to do it. There we are. The Botanians literally have no combat strength. I say that while having exactly the same combat strength. Okay, yes. No, don't comment on that. No. It's absolutely fine. We are okay, yes. Anyway, I am going to be now running around and trying to recruit as many units as possible. I just wanted to get that out of the way so that you would see the moment when we made peace with the Botanians, just so that you know exactly what kind of status we have in regards to diplomacy, and hopefully what we're going to be able to do is wage war. I'm hoping against the Vlandians. I'm very much hoping that we'll be able to try and attack them soon, as they are probably the ones that I would like to eliminate next. I don't know whether it's really viable for us to consider attacking them. Obviously, Charas is still a viable target as well. As you see down there, it is very clearly at war against us, and we are definitely going to try and take that once more. So I will try to recruit as many people as I can get my hands on, and then we'll see where we go from there. Alright, so I'm actually returning here to Charas a little bit ahead of schedule, and this is certainly not something that I wanted to do right away, but I was in the vicinity and I noticed... Yes, I noticed Mr. Caladog himself was attempting to besiege the town, and we really do not want the Botanians to be right on our doorstep, do we? Because that is basically a stone's throw away from our main home, and that is definitely not something I want. So we are going to be besieging Charas first, and, well, as I say, it is probably not something that I wanted to do right now, because generally I have almost just about finished recruiting enough units to be able to fill out my army, and many of them have not even begun leveling up in any great way here. So this is going to be a bit interesting. Anyway, I think Heroic Leader is probably what we're going to be taking here, even though the town loyalty thing is not really going to be affecting us that much, because as far as I'm aware, I believe it is still the case that you, as the player, unless you put yourself as a governor, does not automatically get assigned to it, and as a result you're not going to be gaining the town loyalty or anything like that, which is kind of sad. But the other one, which I think actually does work, but it might not, it's a little bit iffy here, you know, with the whole description of these perks sometimes, because if you're the governor, well, obviously that's kind of a bit more obvious, but being a captain, does that mean that you need to join someone else's army and then be nominated as a formation leader? If that is indeed the case, then that is obviously a completely useless perk for us, which is kind of sad. The other thing increases our party size limit by 5, and that's basically it. So it very much depends on if we care about 5 party size, or if we want more morale penalty when killing an enemy. In my opinion, morale penalty is the go-to, But obviously, if it doesn't work, then it's basically pointless. But I don't really care about the 5-party size, so I will just take Heroic Leader for the moment. We've also leveled up our two-handed skill, so your kills with two-handed weapons have a 30% higher effect on friendly troops, battle morale, or we could go for the opposite, which is your kills with two-handed weapons have a 20% higher effect on enemy troops' battle morale. We're probably going to be taking that one. In my opinion, forcing the enemy to retreat is much better than keeping your own unit's morale high. Because while my morale is not exactly amazing at the moment, as you can see right here, we are not really getting into too many fights, so that's the reason why we're not maxed out in morale at the moment. But generally, I personally really like causing the enemy to retreat. I think it has a much bigger effect on how much of a victory you're going to see. So we're going to take Terra, and I'm wondering whether I should... They're all ballistas. I'm wondering whether I should actually build a catapult or two. I'm a little bit dubious about doing this because I don't really want the enemy vassals to appear, and you never know, they might. But I'm willing to take the risk at the moment. So let's just do this. And we'll put these both out here, and then we'll lead the assault before they get destroyed. Yes, that would hopefully be a good idea. All right, so let's head in here. Now, I have heard and seen a number of people in the comments actually talk about the realistic battle AI mod, and that apparently is the reason why a number of our units are having pretty significant difficulties getting up that one side of the ladder, and that might be a reason why it would be a good idea for me to use siege towers. And I thought, well, yes, I would like to do that, but on the other hand, I really don't like using siege towers. That's basically the only thing in regards to that. You know, using siege towers really, I don't know, it's kind of an annoying situation to be in, but I don't know. Maybe we'll try them out, but I kind of just wanted to get this over with. If we can actually even do it, maybe I'm not even going to be able to do this, which would be amusing. Okay, yeah, this is going to be a bit difficult, isn't it? I'm going to literally jump off here. There is nothing I can do. There is nothing I can do. They're way too good. They are just way too good. And I'm going to need to get my bow out and do some damage this way. Nice. And then I get shot. Of course I do. Alright, so let's actually just see how this is going. If I go over here... Oh, they're actually using this ladder. Oh, look at that. They're actually using this ladder. That's nice. Oh, that's actually working significantly. Very good. Okay, I'm quite pleased about that. But I am not pleased about the amount of damage we're currently taking. As you can quite clearly tell, we are losing a massive amount of units. And I think I'm actually going to... am I going to have to retreat again? Oh. Ooh, okay. That's actually... Yeah, you know what? I am actually going to do that. I am actually going to retreat. I think it is... Wow. Okay, that's pretty harsh. That is pretty harsh. Okay, we're going to have to move away here. Hopefully Caladog is not now going to take advantage of the fact that we're not going there anymore. I'm assuming he will. And it's going to be a relatively sour note as well, because he is indeed going to get a weakened garrison as a result of our efforts there as well. So it's going to be even easier for him to take it, even though he already has 700 or so units, which, well, it's basically child's play for him to take it, to be honest. It really is very easy. And as you can see, he is actually going to do that. Ooh, that grinds my gears. That really grinds my gears. Oh, well, never mind. Okay. Hopefully, he's going to lose a number of units there. I can only hope. But how many units does he have to even deal with? Only two... Yes. Only 200 he has to deal with now, because we eliminated at least 100 of them. And it would have done a lot more damage if we had just left it. But I really thought we were going to achieve victory there. I mean, really. Most of the time, when we put our minds to a siege, we're usually able to pull off pretty convincing, you know, capture. But yes, this time around, yeah, I don't know what it is, but Charas seems to be one of those cursed ones for me. I don't know, it seems like there are many, many more of those sieges nowadays. And maybe, indeed, I do need to create a siege tower. Maybe I need to build one of those, maybe build 2 of those, and see how that goes instead of just going in bare bones. Yes, yes, indeed. Because obviously going in with the ladders only is maybe not the best idea. Anyway, I'm going to go in for this tournament here. There are 3 nobles present, which is actually kind of nice. And, oh, we're getting judgment. That's a pretty nice one-handed. I mean, obviously a one-handed, I'm not really going to be using that, but it might be quite fun. Oh, these bows, really. Ugh. Nice headshot. Thank you very much. Well, this is going to be interesting. So far, everything seems to be working nicely. Ow. Okay. Yeah, I took a bit of a gamble there, in assuming that I was going to be able to fire before she came around with her polearm. But nope. Thank you very much for that victory. Let's move on to the next round, and let's see what we can do. Okay, I have a shield and a one-handed. This is actually going to be a pretty decent way for me to get some one-handed skill, even though obviously one-handed is not what I'm going to primarily be using, but it's always nice. Oh yeah, that was some nice teamwork from me and the Imperial Heavy Horseman. He was able to shoot the enemy in the back while we were fighting them honorably. So I guess we can blame him for the dishonorable combat. I mean, to be fair, you know, winning at any cost, I suppose, is the name of the game in terms of tournaments. Apparently our husband does not know how to defend from the side. Yes, indeed. There we go. That was relatively easy victory. And now we are up against our former teammate. Let's see what we can do here. This is a one-handed, and we don't have a shield. Well, we do have a shield, but we don't have a bow or anything like that, so it's going to be pretty simple for us, I think. Nice. Okay, there we go. Not too bad. And 6,700, but obviously the main reason why I'm doing it is for the renown. If I cannot fight anyone, then of course renown from tournaments is going to be the next best thing. Anyway, I'm going to continue recruiting units and preparing for the next war, which will no doubt be happening quite soon. Alright, so we are now back. It's been a while since the previous section of the video, and well, not much has happened in terms of diplomacy, but a lot has happened in regards to my own army, and I have now maxed out in terms of numbers, and you can also see this is what we currently have available to us. Unfortunately, a lot of my units are still very low level. I only have I have 52 actually, 52 tier 2 archers, which is obviously not very good, and then we also have 48 tier 3s, and then everyone else is pretty high, which is quite nice. I mean, they're obviously going to be doing some pretty nice damage, but for the most part my army is very fragile, as you might expect. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to declare war against the Vlandians. Yeah, I'm actually going to declare war against them. I'm going to try and force that through. And before we do that, I'm going to just get some policies potentially. This is going to be really useful in my opinion, so let's do this. I'm basically just going to go through all of the policies here just real fast and just have a look and see whether Yeah, I mean, this seems pretty good. The cost of revoking a fee from a clan is doubled. I mean, I'm just going to kick them out if I don't like them, right? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, the point is, I want to try and maximize the power that my vassals have at the same time, because I don't really... I don't know. I don't want peerage. That's the only thing I don't want. Everything else is okay. Castle upgrade costs being reduced by 100%. I mean, how can I say no to that? I have so much influence at the moment that I might as well spend it on making my vassals as strong as possible, because I'm going to need their assistance. I will need their assistance quite significantly, and we're going to probably be doing road tolls as well, because 3% trade tax paid to the town owner, I think that's pretty good in comparison to 0.2 prosperity increase, so I'm kind of happy with that. And then settlement loyalty, I don't really care about that, but I could force it through if I want to. My loyalty at the moment with my town is actually at a... 0 gain, 0 loss, because at the moment I'm building some fairgrounds. Someone said in the comments, and thank you very much for this, that fairgrounds actually do increase the loyalty gain from your town. So that's actually super nice, and hopefully that's going to help us out quite a bit. This is actually super nice too. Gain 1 security but lose 1 militia per day. This is very, very good, so we might as well take this. And we are... we're going to take some other things as well, like for example, this is good. This is basically a net gain, no matter what, in my opinion. And we are going to, yes, this is also good because I don't care about my own influence. My own influence is at an overall positive at the moment, so there is no problem for me to do that. Food production being increased. I mean, how can we say no to that, right? How can we say no to food production being increased, town loyalty being decreased by 0.2? That is still not that big a hit at the moment, so I'm kind of okay with it. And otherwise, land tax, what's this? Really? They support this? I don't believe it. I don't believe it in a million years that these vassals are wanting me to have more money, surely. Oh well. Whatever the case, let's have a look at this. Bailiffs. Okay, towns with security greater than that yield 1 additional influence. Yep, that is probably going to be good for me. Tax from towns being reduced by 5%. As I say, I don't really gain a huge amount from towns anyway, so it's not really necessary for me. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with all of that. And now we are going to declare war against the Vlandians, like I said. So let's do that straight away. Boom. And we're actually also at war against the Southern Empire because they are allies, which is actually fine. I don't have a problem with that either because the Southern Empire is pretty far away at the moment. If they do want to attack us, then they can. But they're currently at war against the Western Empire, as you can see right here. They just lost a very, very large army to the Western Empire. So if they want to come over here, then that is all very well and good. This guy is a part of Durthart's clan, as far as I'm aware. Yeah. So I will not be able to persuade him to join us, unfortunately, but I am hoping that we're going to be able to persuade some people to join us. And this is actually a nighttime battle. I did not want to do a nighttime battle, so let me see if I can actually get that to daytime. There we are. That's a little better. And we're going to go in here. Now, I'm going to go in here primarily because I have switched around a couple of pieces of gear for my archer line, because I wanted to make them a little bit more effective at range, and so I have swapped a lot of their bows for things that could be used on horseback, for things that cannot be used on horseback, because in the grand scheme of things, if we want them to be really good when they're not using mounts, because obviously they're not using mounts, then it's a better idea to have them use equipment that is specifically designed for that. You know, we want them to be as good as possible in those situations rather than be good with horses and things like that. And obviously they don't have horses, so it makes no sense, right? Anyway, that's obviously going to be really, really good to find out whether that actually does make a difference. Although this is maybe not the best test to have, because this guy obviously does not have a very significant power in his army, and I think it's probably going to be pretty easy for us to achieve victory, whether I had changed their bows or not. But, yeah, some of the lowest tier of my archers were using some really terrible stuff, and I have changed them around a little bit, but I don't know whether it's going to make a difference. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, because, I mean, let's face it, my tier 2 archers, I believe, were using such low level bows that were just really not very good in general, that I thought to myself, wow, why did I give them this, you know, in the first place? And so maybe they're going to be a little bit better now. Let's just move them a little bit closer. And you can see here that the formation I have at the moment is really nice too. I think we've got them in like a... Yeah, we've got them in 3 rows. I think 3 rows or 4 rows? Oh, maybe not, hopefully not 4 rows. I think that might be a bit too much. I think 3 rows is okay. As you can see, most of my archers are getting a clear line of sight, and they are all mostly able to shoot. If I were to spread them out even further, I think it might be a little bit too thin then. I'm not entirely sure. That might need a little bit of tweaking in the future if we are up against a more difficult opponent. Because at the moment, this is obviously a guy that I think, with all intents and purposes, we're probably going to be absolutely fine to beat him. But in a situation where we are outnumbered potentially, or you know, the enemy has a much greater combat strength, we probably want to be a bit more aware of those things. Oh, this guy's literally going to run away from us. That's fantastic. Yep, that was flawless. Actually not flawless. Oh, they actually killed one of us. Oh, well, okay. I was thinking to myself, oh yes, it's going to be a completely flawless victory, but no, we did take 1 casualty, but thankfully it wasn't anything to worry about. Yeah, okay, so now here's the thing. I actually thought to myself, I'm going to start releasing prisoners, because on the one hand, I think that the money gained from prisoner ransoms, that can be very, very lucrative. However, I feel like the relation gain that we're going to get from releasing them is probably a little more useful when it comes to persuasive efforts. So I'm going to be letting most people go, even though this guy is not going to be persuaded for any reason whatsoever. I think it is probably useful for me to try and just get a little relation with some of them, just in case. You never know when you're going to need to speak to them in a diplomatic way, and I'd like to try and maximize our chances of success. Ooh, this guy. Hello there, sir. Would you like to stop and talk about how I'm going to hopefully take this town over there in just a second? Ah, yes, there we are. Fantastic. Okay, who's this fellow? Okay, he's part of this guy's clan. Okay, yeah, he's actually wounded, as you can quite clearly tell. He is wounded. So I will not be able to send a messenger to him just yet, which is unfortunate. And we are going to be attacking. This is a nighttime battle. I really don't like the nighttime battles, and I gotta say, apparently some of you don't like them either, and I do apologize about that, but there's nothing I can do about the brightness, unfortunately. I mean, that's just how the game is. I mean, I can see perfectly fine. That's the reason why generally, if I do partake in a nighttime battle, I do try to recommend increasing the brightness of your device or your monitor, either way. That might help things a little bit. And hopefully it will. Anyway, let's try and get into some nice positions here and try and finish this up fast so that we don't spend too much time here. And yeah, I think my forces are going to do pretty nicely. Okay, here we go. Yep, there we go. There's the big burst. That is the big burst of damage that we wanted to see. And we lost 1 unit, which is exactly how it should be at this point. Oh yeah, by the way, I did reach 100 in leadership, and that was actually where I wanted to get to before I started releasing people, basically, from my army, that is. Because when you get to 100 leadership, you do get the famous commander perk. And what does the famous commander perk do, you say? Well, you probably know, but generally, what it does is it increases your renown gain by 50%. Yes, from battles. I mean, literally, how amazing is that? It really is. Okay, so... no morale penalty. Yes, that might be better. No, we're going to go for Swift Regroup. Swift Regroup is much better, in my opinion, in the tactics tree, because you can escape battles by leaving 50% less soldiers behind in the unfortunate event that you might need to do that. this is one of those perks that, in my opinion, is really invaluable. And otherwise, let us now move on to Galend. I would like to be able to take it. If I'm unable to take it and it looks very, very bad, there's only 300 units here. That's also the reason why I thought, maybe we can do it. You know, it's possible. I'm going to attack these looters real fast. Just get them dead real fast and get some more level ups. Just really, really quick level ups. I've actually found that fighting bandits is much more lucrative than you would imagine. Every single time I've seen a somewhat medium-sized bandit party, and I'm talking about just 15, 20, 25 units, I've thought to myself, okay, I'll just go in there, I'll just take them out real fast, and I have actually leveled up my units quite quickly with that, so it's pretty good. Anyway, let me see here. We are going to build one siege tower. Actually, let's just build 2 siege towers. And we'll... yeah, I'm not a big fan of the catapults. I'm not a big fan of the catapults whatsoever, and I'm not a big fan of actually attempting to even take this, to be honest, but we need to expand our territory, and if someone does appear out of nowhere, then I will cease the siege immediately. I will cease the siege, and we will then attempt to do battle on the field. Generally, I have come to the realization, after the last couple of failed sieges, that my army is really not very good when it comes to sieging, but it is much better when it comes to actual field battles. So I am very much hoping that we might get some good results if we just tend to focus on that. Literally, did I just lose that catapult that I just... Ugh. Yes, I'm very good at this, can you tell? Okay, so we have the ability to go in now. Let's level up my forces for the last time. We have 104 bear assassins at the moment, and I have very few tier 2 units as well, so that's nice, that's good. That means that our army is starting to rank up. We have 295 units to deal with. What kind of garrison do they have in here? They only have 6... They only have 6 sharpshooters. We should theoretically be perfectly fine to take this, and then to be able to defend it, we should be completely fine. Unless there is an army of over 1,200 units or something bearing down on us, we shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. And also, did you get that pun? Bearing down. Yes, I am. Okay, never mind. Alright, let's move in and see what we can do. Now, we are going to be doing the siege towers. Oh, I hate siege towers so much. Okay, well, let's see how it goes. With the new mod, with the realistic battle AI mod, I was hopeful that maybe the siege tower mechanics are a little better than how they deal with the ladders. So that was the main reason why I thought let's build some and see how it goes. It seems to actually be going much better this time because my forces are not running straight towards the walls and not getting themselves murdered at such close range. I think that's actually helping us quite a big deal, amusingly enough. And with the new AI, they might do... Whoa, they are ruthless. They are very efficient right now. Okay, let's have a look. I mean, I'm saying they're ruthless while they're climbing some ladders, but actually they seem very... They're into it, you know? They're driven. They're ready to get up the walls and do some slaughtering. So let's hope that they're actually able to do that. I'm a bit dubious about it myself, but okay, let's try it. Oh no, I am in a bad place. No. What is up with my... I don't know what's up with my forces. They always seem to do some really weird stuff. Whenever they get onto the battlements, they just seem to die. And I'm not even talking about, you know, they just seem to... Well, like that. They just seem to... Yes, just die. Like I just did. Yes, how fantastic. Okay, wait a minute. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a crash. Okay, so what actually happened right here? Okay. Right. I'm actually not entirely sure why that causes a problem. It's butterlib. So yeah, I don't know why that is actually happening, but yeah, there's a crash. Anyway, I think that's actually probably going to be it for this episode, because I am not sure where the autosave is, and the autosave is probably quite far back, and I hope it isn't, to be honest. I hope it isn't, because I had a pretty good army, and I spent quite a bit of time on it, so I'm going to have to go off screen a little bit and try and get my army back, and then we will, you know, do and repeat all the same steps again, or at least I will do that, and then I'll get prepared for the next episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.